Let us continue the transmission with your questions, if you wish.
Hi, Bashar.
And a good day.
First, I just want to say you rock.
Well, we're in a good town for that, yes.
Pun intended.
Oh, right, thank you.
And I just think you're awesome. You know, ever since...
Only some awe?
I think you're way awesome.
Full of awe.
Full of awe.
Making us awful.
And you're funny. I think I need to learn how to lighten up more, but
That is the key to enlightenment. Learning how to lighten up on yourself.
Exactly. And that's really cool because that dovetails into what I want to talk about.
How synchronous of you.
And I seem to have a lucky star. I'm at the right place at the right time a lot in my life.
Yes.
And it's getting more and more, and I'm super stoked about that.
Synchronicity increases in that way when you are more in alignment with yourself. It is one of the symptoms of the fourth density transformation, yes.
And I mean, you've changed my life.
No, you've changed your life.
Well, your words and your willingness to come to.
It is our pleasure to reflect to you what you already knew but forgot. So thank you for remembering and changing your life.
So, with that, I have started to, for the first time in my life, follow my passion.
How exciting!
I'm like really stoked about. And so now I'm in this gorgeous gallery here in Sedona.
All right.
And I've earned this PhD in applied statistics, and it so doesn't resonate with what I'm doing right now, and that's totally okay with me.
Yes.
And the deal is that I knew that I was always an artist in my heart and soul.
Yay.
And I put it like on the top shelf.
Oh, all right.
And so now I'm in these gorgeous, fine art galleries.
Yes.
And I'm working with this crystal in there. I'd like for you perhaps to talk about that if you would be so kind.
Crystal?
Yeah, there's a crystal in the gallery, and
it's a permission slip like anything else.
Yeah, okay. That's exactly what
you understand that concept?
Yeah, intuitively. I don't know if I understand it as much logically, but I do intuitively.
All right. Well, permission slip is simply any tool, any technique, any ritual, any object that allows you to give yourself permission to be more of who you are. And it aligns with your belief system in a way that allows you to believe that it acts as the catalyst, as the trigger, to simply give yourself permission.
Yeah, okay. And so as I'm more and more allowing myself to have permission to be the highest version of myself.
Yes.
Reinventing during this year, this really crucial year.
Yes.
All these incredible tools that you have disseminated or, brought through. Well, I'm in the gallery, I'm selling the art off the walls, and now there's this voice within me that's like, hey, I can do this. Like, there's this artist in me.
Yes.
And I'm being asked, I really do think, I'm being asked to be an example because I'm starting to see some shadow sides of the artist.
Yes.
And things that I have judgment on.
No, all right.
And
giving you an opportunity to reveal to yourself those things that might be out of alignment so you can bring them back into alignment. Yes.
For him or for me?
For yourself always, or acting as an example for others if they need to do that for themselves.
Okay, so then I'm on this roll, I'm seeing this now, and now what's going on is, like, I feel like I'm begging them for money, like for a commission.
You don't have to beg.
I know, and so I'm going down and I'm looking in my heart and soul, why am I feeling like I have to beg for what I deserve?
Yes, well, why?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Well, I know about core beliefs,
yes.
And I know about investigating them, but I seem to somehow have this voice in me that
says,
I'm a piece of shit or something, and I don't know why.
All right, well, as we discussed in the pre-recorded section, that is the voice of the critic. It is the father of lies. Yes?
Yes.
Well, why do you believe the lie? What makes the lie seem so convincing?
Maybe because I haven't allowed myself to know what's on the other side of that lie.
And what do you imagine is on the other side of the lie?
A life of that it keeps just getting better and better.
And why is that difficult to believe? We have, for some time now, reminded many of you that one of the greatest shocks you will all have in this age of transformation is that what you have always been taught as a fairy tale is actually the way life works. So we understand that can come as a shock.
Yeah, what it comes as when I'm feeling through it is like the other shoe's going to drop. Like somehow, and again, I know these are beliefs. And
that's all right. You need to perhaps learn the permission slip, the very powerful permission slip, that very mighty, mighty two-word meditation. You know it? Would you like us to tell you the two-word meditation?
Yeah.
So what? So the other shoe drops. So what? It's always an opportunity to neutralize the situation and to give it the meaning you prefer. Always. It doesn't matter how any circumstance is generated. It doesn't matter how anyone else's intention in the circumstance may be directed toward you. Every circumstance and every situation at every single moment is always an opportunity to neutralize it and imbue it with the meaning you prefer. Always. So it doesn't matter what happens because so what? You can always neutralize it. You can always imbue it with a positive meaning. You can always get a beneficial effect out of it. So who cares what it is? Who cares how many shoes drop? Who cares if it's raining shoes? Who cares? Not you.
I love how you bring the shadow out.
Yes.
I love that about you. Well,
it's only by bringing the shadow out and balancing and equalizing it with the light that you get the opportunity to choose from a place of empowerment. When all things are equal, it's easy to choose which side you prefer without invalidating the side that you don't.
So are you saying then, like when I'm in that moment and I'm on a roll and I'm selling all this art off the walls,
yes,
and I'm feeling like, yeah, but they haven't talked to me about commission, and yeah, but this, that and that point, the way to get neutral rather than go towards that critic, that negative part, is, well, first of all, to be as present as I can.
Absolutely, and to clearly state what it is you prefer, without fear, without judgment. Because it's all right to make a clear statement about what it is you prefer as a reciprocation.
Right.
It doesn't involve begging.
No.
It involves a clear statement of what you believe is equal to what it is you are doing. If someone isn't vibrationally aligned with that, you don't need to deal with them, you can deal with someone else.
I think that's where the kicker is, because I feel like I'm affected a lot by if others aren't in vibration, like the owners or anybody in life, then I feel out of control, and then I kind of take a couple steps back from that excitement and that
but again, remember, you cannot have any kind of a feeling experience if you don't have a definition you're not buying into first. You understand? If you're buying into the idea that what they're saying is true about you, then you're going to feel unworthy in that way. But the question is, why would you buy into it if you don't prefer to?
I think the question is, for me right now, is it's like time for me to be my highest version.
Yeah, well, that's not a question, that's a statement.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And there are things that are coming up simultaneously that are not my highest version.
That's all right. That's all right. Again, it's an opportunity to decide what you prefer. Sometimes you attract things that are not what you prefer, so that perhaps by contrast you get clarity on what you do prefer.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, I do.
Every situation is an opportunity to clarify yourself. Every single one.
Wow.
Remember, excitement is a complete kit. When you act on the formula of excitement, the three-part formula, you act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability with zero insistence or assumption as to the outcome or how you should get there. When you act on that three-part formula, you open excitement up as a complete kit. That complete kit contains everything that you need to support you in continuing to act on your excitement. It becomes the driving engine of your life, moving you forward in your life in exactly the way you need to be moved. It becomes the organizing principle of your life, synchronistically arranging everything in the correct order you need to do it. It becomes the path of least resistance in your life so that you can simply flow where you need to flow. It becomes the thread that connects to all other expressions of excitement in your life to show you that everything is all interconnected in that way, and that one excitement will always lead to another. But to address what you just said, it also contains the reflective mirror to reflect to you what may be out of alignment with that excitement within you so that you can identify it consciously, integrate it, bring it back into alignment, and expand your excitement. So when you act on your excitement, one of its jobs, one of its duties, one of its abilities is to bring your attention to anything within you that is out of alignment so you can deal with it and bring it back into alignment to expand the excitement. So it's not going wrong if you're acting on your excitement and all these issues suddenly coming up. That means excitement's doing its job. The mechanism is working perfectly for you. Then the more you integrate, the more you align, the less you will need to see those things. It will smooth itself out. It's a self-perpetuating, self-guiding, self-correcting mechanism. It's unerring. Excitement is a complete kit. Complete, complete, complete. By definition, leaves nothing out that's relevant to your life. So whatever it brings you, if you're acting on your excitement, whatever it brings you, in whatever form it comes, must by definition be a part of your path of excitement, not an interruption in it. Make sense?
Yes.
Is this helping?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yes, I have another thing.
Yes.
Okay. So, I wish I knew about you when I was young.
Why?
Because I feel like I have these patternings that are in me.
Nonsense.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you what I mean. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
The definition from our point of view of a pattern or a habit is something you do that you don't know you're doing. If you know you're doing it, it's not a pattern or a habit anymore. It's a choice. So you would ask the question, well, why would I choose something I don't prefer? Great question. Now you have something to work with. But if you just say, it's a pattern, it's a habit, I can't help it, you have nothing to work with.
So then, like someone...
One moment.
Okay, sorry.
One moment. That's all right.
Yeah.
Many people on your planet are taught to think, well, now that I've discovered the pattern, now that I've discovered the habit, now what do I do to let it go? The recognition of the pattern, the recognition of the habit is the end of the process, not the beginning of letting it go. You have to be outside the forest to look back and see that it was a forest. Otherwise, it's just trees. Do you understand?
Yes.
So when you say, oh, a habit, it's done, it's gone, because you're outside of it in order to be able to see it. If you keep doing the same thing, it's not because it's a habit, it's because you're choosing to. Why would you choose to do something you don't prefer? Because you have a definition attached to it that says it is the thing that benefits you the most. Does that make sense? Not at all. So find out what the definition is that makes no sense that you've attached to the thing you prefer that prevents you from acting on it. That's how it works. You all have the same motivational mechanism. It's unerring, it's automatic, it's immediate. You use it flawlessly. There are no exceptions. You always move in the direction of what you believe benefits you. You always move away from what you believe does not. The issue is what you believe benefits you or what you believe does not. You can empirically, intellectually know that something is not beneficial and yet see yourself still choosing it. But the idea is the only reason you would do that is because somewhere in your motivational mechanism, you're telling yourself that the alternative is more frightening. You've somehow attached a definition to the thing you prefer that makes it actually seem to be the less scary thing to do. And so you stay with the thing you don't want to do because in your mind you have a definition that to be yourself is scarier. When you find out what that definition is that's making you run away from who you really are, and you identify it, you will see it's nonsensical and illogical and you'll drop it. And then you will move in the direction of what you prefer instead of in the direction of what you don't. But that's how that works. You need to reverse those definitions. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And sometimes I hear you, and
Yes.
when I'm starting to really investigate these core beliefs, and I think I've gotten one.
Yes.
And then it's like a rabbit hole or like a black hole.
There are many secondary and tertiary beliefs that may be attached to the core belief, and sometimes you can find a secondary one and you can let it go, but if you keep doing the same thing, what that tells you is you haven't found the core yet. Dig deeper.
Well, I'm asking this because I feel like I hear you.
Yes.
Would you guide me in that?
These things usually are issues wrapped around the idea of self-worth.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you deserve what you say you deserve? Are you an exception to the rule?
I don't know. No, I'm not an exception to the rule, but I was going to go to counseling. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is.
Do you feel unworthy of certain things?
I must.
You don't have to assume so.
Well, I kind of do, because I keep coming to this. There's like this diametrically opposed. I manifest awesome stuff.
Yes.
And then on this other
All right, one moment.
Yeah.
Let's examine that more specifically, very briefly.
Okay.
The things that you manifest, that you say are in alignment with who you prefer to be. You know what that feels like.
Yes, I do.
You know what that's like. The things that you say you're having some struggle with. What's the difference between those two things in your mind, in your definitions? If you're manifesting here, if you're in alignment here, what reason are you creating to make this in your life different from that in your life? What's the definitional difference between the things you manifest and the things that you don't? Can you answer that question?
That's a big question.
Oh, all right.
The definitional difference.
Yes.
It probably ties back to worthiness, and for some...
But why are you worthy in certain cases and not in others, is what we're asking you. What's the difference between those two situations that you find yourself worthy in one and not in the other? What's the definitional difference?
I don't know.
Sure you do. Why is this okay and that's not?
Maybe in the tertiary, the deep, deep parts of the core belief, I just feel like I can't have it all.
Thank you. Why not?
I don't know.
Who said? Where is that written? Let me help you clarify.
I would love for you to help me clarify.
You're never going to have it all, but you're going to have all of what is relevant for you. That's the difference. You don't need all of it, because all of it's not relevant for who you are. But every single thing that is, you can have all of that. Why would you want anything that's not relevant? So unchain those definitions and make them more specific for you. You don't need it all. So who cares if you never get it all? Everything you need, you will have all of. Yes?
Yeah.
Does this help?
Yes, it does very much.
You deserve everything that's relevant for you. You don't need the things that aren't. But you don't have to wrap up the issue of lack of deservability into the idea that the irrelevant things won't come to you. They're irrelevant. So why even attach the issue of deservability to them? You don't need them. You could say, well, yes, I don't deserve them, but that's not really the issue. The issue is you don't need them. They're not relevant. So don't attach deservability to the idea that you can't have everything that's not relevant to you. That makes no sense.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that help clarify a little bit this idea?
Yeah, it does. And I would ask that perhaps if I may hear you more, and so as I journey through this terrain, I can...
We are always, along with many other beings, spirit guides, we are always sending everything it is possible for us to send to help all of you.
Okay.
If you're not receiving it, it's not because we're not sending it.
No, I can feel it.
All right.
Yeah.
Then open up to more of it and understand that when you do, you will know you always have guidance, you always have help, you are never alone, you are never lost. And allow yourself to know that as a fact, so that if you become confused, you can sit for a moment in neutral energy and just let yourself feel the connections that are there and know that you can never really be lost, even when you pretend that you are.
Thank you.
It's an illusion. It's a sham. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You can't be lost. It's a sham. It's an experience. That's real. But it's not empirically true. You can never actually be out of control. You can use your control to make it seem as if you are, but you never actually can be. You can never be disconnected from creation. You can use your free will to make it seem as if you are, but you never actually can be disconnected. If you really were disconnected from creation, you wouldn't exist. And you couldn't create the experience of being disconnected if you actually were. See the paradox?
Yeah.
Learn the power of paradox. Learn to see it clearly. And it will bring you back to center, because paradox is simply the recognition from another point of view that what appear to be polar opposites actually issue from the same center point. Is this helping you?
Very much. And thank you for just everything. I'm very appreciative, and I just want to thank you from my heart.
If you are appreciative, then we would suggest that you appreciate yourself that much more. All right?
Thank you.
It is no accident in your language that you use the same term for money as you do for self-worth, appreciation. You want to appreciate yourself, then you will grow with interest. Depreciate yourself, and you will be bankrupt. Look at the analogies you have set up in your own language as reflections. Yes?
Yes.
So, appreciate yourself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And may I ask about the little hybrid babies?
Nope.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.